How do you do, everyone? I'm Rick Barlow with Bellwether League Foundation. I'd like to welcome you to the 14th annual Bellwether League Foundation Induction and Recognition event, and thank you for tuning into this online broadcast. The Board of Directors and Advisory Council chose to go virtual for this annual event for the second consecutive year for the health, safety, and convenience of our Bellwether honorees, AMER honoree, future famers, sustaining and event sponsors, and all attendees. Next year, we hope to return to a live in-person event where we will ask the 2020 and 2021 classes to be recognized with their 2022 classmates. And if you stay to the very end of this event, I'll reveal a small clue about next year's 15th anniversary celebration to set the stage for what's to come. Now I invite you all to sit back and for the next 90 minutes to listen to and learn about some of the leading innovators, pioneers, and visionaries in the healthcare supply chain. Enjoy. Hello again, everyone. Allow me to introduce Deborah Templeton, Chairman of Bellwether League Foundation, who will initiate this evening's recognition. Deb serves as the first chairman of our organization as a 501c3 nonprofit entity. She served as the last treasurer of Bellwether League Incorporated, our predecessor organization, which was a 501c6 not-for-profit corporation. Deb?
Hello, my name is Deb Templeton, Chairman of the Bellwether League Foundation. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 14th Annual Bellwether Foundation Induction and Recognition event. This has been a challenging year for many of us. We are still dealing with the impacts of COVID-19, and many have been faced with both fire and flood events. Throughout it all, the supply chains across the country have learned and grown stronger. The Bellwether League Foundation shines a light on supply chain excellence in three ways: Bellwether and Future Famer recognitions, and the Dean S. Amer Award for Performance Excellence. Throughout this event today, you will hear the stories of those who have contributed to building the healthcare supply chain. As you listen, I would ask that you jot down names of others that could be nominated. We are currently planning already for 2022, and your nominations would be most welcome. I would also ask that you consider a contribution to the foundation to keep the flames of recognition alive. I thank you for your time and consideration. Now, on to our program. Bellwether League Foundation Board of Directors, through the efforts of its nominating task force, select active supply chain professionals within the first decade of their healthcare careers. They do not yet qualify for Bellwether consideration, but have contributed to the healthcare supply chain profession in a meaningful way, demonstrated through innovative initiatives and projects. Our first Future Famer recognized is Brian W. Murray, Assistant Vice President, Supply Chain Procurement at North Shore University Health System in Evanston, Illinois. Brian is described as a forward-thinking supply chain professional. He has led supply chain integration projects that have contributed significant savings to his organization. He has redesigned procurement teams to enhance contract management, as well as custom pack and lab distribution partnerships. His leadership skills were demonstrated on clinical value analysis teams, as well as being chosen an employee engagement ambassador. Brian has a bachelor's degree in financial planning and counseling and a master's degree in business administration. He has also served on several Vizient supply chain teams. Please join me in congratulating Brian. Our next future famer is Pauline Oyer, Strategic Sourcing and Operations Director at University Health in San Antonio, Texas. Pauline is involved in supply chain strategic planning at her organization and tracks and communicates the results achieved. She has also been the Supply Chain Information Systems Manager responsible for multiple go-live initiatives. She also has a background in clinical facilities management, where she led several logistical projects. She also received several recognitions for her leadership in her role as Central Distribution Supervisor at Miami Valley Hospital in Ohio. Pauline has a bachelor's degree in business administration and accounting, as well as a master's in business administration. She is vice chair of Arms Young Professionals Advisory Council, as well as a certified materials and resource professional. Please join me in congratulating Pauline as a future famer. Our final future famer is Bruce Radcliffe. Bruce is a senior supply chain executive currently serving as System Vice President of Supply Chain at Advocate Aurora Health in Illinois and Wisconsin. He has driven multiple savings initiatives resulting in substantial savings for his organization. He has also served as physician mentor in their leadership academy, providing basic education on supply chain. Bruce serves on the Premier GPO Strategic Advisory Committee and has served on the Premier Cardiology Committee. Bruce has been an operations manager with a background in radiology and cardiology and a senior financial analyst. Bruce holds a bachelor's degree in business administration with a finance focus, as well as a master's in business administration. Please join me in congratulating Bruce on his future famer recognition. Named for the first inductee into the Bellwether League Foundation Hall of Fame for Supply Chain, the Dean S. Amer Award for Healthcare Supply Chain Performance Excellence honors and recognizes noteworthy executives and professionals in the middle of their careers. These are most valuable executives, or MVEs, who best exemplify the practice and spirit of healthcare supply chain performance excellence. These professionals, through their innovative leadership and influential project management experience, are between future famer status and bellwether consideration. It is my pleasure to introduce Donna Van Vlera as our Amer Award winner for 2021. For the first 20 years of her career, Donna served in the U.S. Marine Corps as a logistician, specializing in supply chain, facility maintenance, and change management. Donna, thank you for your service to our country. It was through this experience that she learned the importance of surrounding herself with good people and technology, learning from a general who appreciated and empowered women. Donna then served in the private sector, joining ITT as Chief Compliance Officer in 2010. Donna was drawn to healthcare and joined Parkview Health in Fort Wayne, Indiana. She is now Senior Vice President of Supply Chain and Support Services, encompassing all logistics, acquisition, distribution, and demand planning for products and services for supply chain, pharmacy, real estate management, environmental services, nutrition services, and facilities management. Through Donna's leadership, Parkview has done advanced planning and took steps long before the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure disaster preparedness and responsiveness that allowed the organization to navigate well through the pandemic times. Her skill of clear and straightforward communication allows her to help her teams and organization through times of change. Donna offers her time and willingly shares her expertise through speaking engagements and contributions to articles. In 2015, Donna was named to the Bellwether Future Famer class. Now, as an AMR Award winner, she achieved a milestone as the first person to receive both honors. Please join me in thanking Donna for her service to her country and for her recognized contributions to the healthcare supply chain in the spirit of Dean S. AMR. Congratulations, Donna.
I would like to extend a deep congratulations to the 2001 Bellwether inductee class. It is comforting to see the exceptional supply chain talents who are saving lives during this COVID pandemic. Congratulations. I am personally humbled to receive the Dean S. AMR Award. I wish I could share the thousands of faces and names of my teammates who have directly contributed to my success. I am but a single tree in the forest, and my strength comes from all my brothers and sisters who have stood tall to make me successful over these many years. I thank you and them for this recognition. I also thank the Bellwether League for your passion, dedication, and support to the supply chain professional. Thank you so much.
Greetings and welcome. For those of you who still don't know me, I'm Jamie Kowalski, proud co-founder of the Bellwether League and now the Bellwether League Foundation, and first chairman of the board of directors. I was inducted to the Hall of Fame class of 2017, and I am a grizzled veteran healthcare supply chain professional and very proud of it. Before moving on, we're going to pause for a moment just to recognize and honor those Bellwethers who have passed away. So on behalf of the Bellwether League Foundation, the board of directors, all the Hall of Famers, and all supply chain professionals, let's remember the following. Jim Dicko, class of 2013. Tom Hughes, class of 2012. Ed Harden, class of 2020. Ned Gerber, class of 2010. Henry Burling, class of 2014. Paul Powell, class of 2009. These were tremendous people, tremendous contributors, and they will be missed. Now, I have the honor of kicking off the introduction and induction of the class of 2021 Bellwethers. For those of you who are not keeping count, this is our 14th year. It is a tremendous honor for me to be on the same program as these very distinguished, talented, and accomplished professionals. And they are. The Bellwether League is both very proud of and takes seriously this process of identifying, evaluating, and selecting those who qualify to enter the Hall of Fame. The process includes quantitative and qualitative-based scoring of each nominee by the nominating task force, the advisory council, and followed by a vote of the board of directors. It is no cakewalk. So those that will be inducted and we honor tonight include John M. Burks, Jacob, also known as Jake Gronwald, Tom Harville, Michael Kaufman, Ben Latimer, Gary Rakes, Barbara Strain, F. Dwight Titus III, Mark A. Van Summeren. So let's move on to the introduction of each of the stars of the evening, the Bellwether class of 2021.
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations to this year's Bellwether honorees. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce John M. Burks. John was a friend of mine for many years in this industry, and he had an amazing career. serving positions at American Hospital Supply, Medline, Enterprise Systems Incorporated, and Novation. John was a visionary in our field and was instrumental in the development of many programs that are still with us today. For example, he was a founding board member of the Coalition for Healthcare E-Standards. He also worked very closely on the development of the marketplace at Novation in conjunction with Neoforma back 20-some years ago. And sadly, some of the things that we were working on back then still haven't been implemented today. John also was the creator of VHA Plus, now known as Nova Plus, which has represented savings of billions of dollars to the Vizient membership over the past 20 years. He also was instrumental in development of the Opportunity Program, which has further helped to penetrate suppliers into the Vizient membership, driving additional savings. But most of all, John was a loving husband of Monica for many years and the very proud father of 3 sons. He was an Eagle Scout and later a Scoutmaster, and one of his great joys was seeing all 3 of his sons earn the rank of Eagle Scout. John was also devoted to God and to his church and spent great amounts of time working to help the church raise money to retire its debt and create a long-term plan, which was part of the next chapter of his life. Please join me in welcoming John Burks to the Bellwether League class of 2021.
On behalf of Monica Burks and the entire Burks family, I am deeply honored to accept this award on their behalf. I know if John were alive, he'd be deeply honored and humbled by this recognition. John was innovative and hardworking. I knew John as a customer, a business partner, and as a dear friend. Those of you who knew John as a customer might think John was one tough guy. As a vendor one day himself, he knew how to play the game, and it served him well when dealing with suppliers. I can tell you that John that I knew for just over 20 years was one heck of a fine fellow. Deeply patriotic, religious, dedicated to his family and the foundations of the Boy Scouts. He loved the work he was able to do in this fabulous industry of which we are all a part. And I know he would be humbled to be among the past Bellwether recipients and the current class of 2021. Congratulations to this year's class and all the past recipients of this outstanding recognition. Thank you to all of you who were part of this process and everyone in the Bellwether family.
Hello, I'm Mary Starr, and tonight I have the distinct honor of introducing Jacob Grunwald to the 2021 Bellwether League Hall of Fame. Jake has been working in the healthcare supply chain industry for almost 40 years. He's worn many hats, but has been consistent when it comes to leadership and innovation. In his early career, he was on the team that developed one of the first hospital-owned service centers, which was eventually sold to Owens & Minor. In this same job, he also developed one of the first general contracting policies, which directed all but a few departments to obtain purchase orders before procuring goods, the start of supply chain management. His career includes positions at providers, GPOs, suppliers, and consulting, demonstrating his knowledge of the market and the intersections of our work. Jake's career has progressed as you would expect any intelligent, hardworking persons to develop, but with the unique distinction of having fostered incredibly broad and deep relationships with the people he's worked with over the years. He is known as a mentor, collaborator, connector, and friend to many of us in the industry. Congratulations, Jake.
Thank you, Mary, for your special words of introduction. I'd like to begin by stating that I was truly taken by surprise and am humbled, honored, and grateful to be recognized by the Bellwether League for this award. My heartfelt thanks to the board for this honor. I would also like to congratulate the other inductees of this year's class. I'm honored to know many of you and to be recognized and share this evening with all of you. My career in healthcare supply chain began almost 40 years ago at a suburban hospital in the Chicago area. The path from there allowed me to broaden my experience and knowledge of supply chain across provider health systems, distribution companies, and the GPO industry. I'd like to thank past Bellwether awardees, particularly John Strong, who was a super mentor to me, Roberta Graham, Alan Weinstein, and Mary Starr, all of whom I had the opportunity to work with and help shape me to be the leader I am today. Great teams drive success. I've been blessed to have worked with great teams across many of the organizations I have served, including my new team at Freighted Health. So I want to thank my past and current colleagues for their support, encouragement, and guidance. This award is reflective of their encouragement and support. Most importantly, I would like to thank God, my supportive and loving family, but most of all my wife, Linda, for her love, support, encouragement, and holding down the fort with 3 young boys running around while Dad was on the road. I could not have done this without her love and support. The future of the healthcare supply chain will continue to be heavily influenced by technology and benchmarking data. How we strategically utilize technology and data to help us better communicate with clinicians and manage the entire supply chain will be crucial for ongoing success. Integrating clinical, financial, and supply chain data to reduce variation, drive effective clinical outcomes is the challenge before all of us. I was fortunate during my tenure at University Health System Consortium, now Vizient, where we took the leap of faith and invested in building the system that integrated spend and clinical data. This was for me one of the high points of my career. It is exciting to see the many bright and energetic young people that are entering the healthcare supply chain world. To those individuals, I would encourage you to build a structure of trust and collaboration. I believe those 2 elements are crucial for long-term success. I would also highlight 4 things. Focus on the patients we serve. After all, this is why we are here. Be patient and humble. Challenge the status quo. Always look to improve. Finally, maintain a positive attitude. Charles Swindoll said it best when he stated, "We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude." I am proud to have been called to serve a career within our industry. I'm honored and grateful to be a Bellwether honoree, something quite frankly I never expected. To all those I've interacted with during my career, I want to express my sincere thanks. It has truly been a fun journey, and I look forward to the years ahead. Thank you.
Tom Harvo embodies a strategic and tactical supply chain leader who builds operations tactically from the ground up. He has accomplished this at 3 organizations, including Fairview Health Services in Minnesota, Sanford Health in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and BJC Healthcare in St. Louis, Missouri, where he currently serves as Vice President and Chief Supply Chain Officer. Tom has led various supply chain projects that have resulted in significant savings to the organization he has served. Tom has integrated supply chain technology systems and has led teams through mergers and acquisitions. Prior to his hospital supply chain endeavors, Tom served in the U.S. Army and Army National Guard, providing supply chain and logistics operations performance. Tom, thank you for your service to our country. Tom serves on several professional boards and has received several recognitions from his GPO and supply chain medias. Tom holds a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration, as well as a Master's of Science in Logistics Management. Please join me in thanking Tom for service to his country and welcoming Tom to the Bellwether class of 2021.
Good evening. I would like to start with my sincere thank you to the officers and the board members of the Bellwether League Foundation. I am both humbled and honored by this recognition. I feel like I'm walking in the shadows of giants of all the great supply chain leaders that have been honored by the Bellwether League and those yet to be recognized. Congratulations to the AMR and the Future Famer awardees and the Bellwether League Hall of Fame class of 2021. I am humbled to be honored along your side and with past recipients. Thank you for your impact in healthcare, and congratulations to you all. None of my success would have been possible without the love of my life, my best friend Lori. She has been my rock for 30 years. Thank you, sweetheart. I owe you everything. To our daughters, Sarah and Anna, you have brought so much joy and happiness into our life, and you have made us immensely proud. To my parents, thank you for being wonderful role models and for shaping my curiosity and my character. And to my siblings, thanks for being there without fail. You are so very important to be in my life. I owe so much to the mentors and leaders that impacted my life, from the early days of a soldier, people showing me the ropes, to leaders giving me the opportunity to stretch myself and grow, and to the healthcare executives that shared their knowledge and wisdom so I could get better. I've benefited from each and every one of you. While there are too many to mention, know that each of you made a difference and have my deepest respect and gratitude. My success came from the support of an amazing family, mentors, and colleagues. They are all the reason for this recognition, and I feel that you're standing with me here tonight. Thank you. I'm also equally privileged to have two wonderful careers. I loved my time in uniform, where I spent 22 years doing the two best jobs, training soldiers and growing leaders. I cherish those I served with. They are brothers and sisters all. But I'm equally privileged to have a second career in healthcare. When I retired in 2004, I had two job offers, one to go in healthcare logistics and the other to go into landmine contract administration. I chose the healthcare because it's like the military, the mission is bigger than yourself. And people really don't like you talking about landmines at parties, so that was kind of out. My early days of healthcare were very challenging. My first day on the job at Fairview was a mediated session between the OR and the materials team. I remember going home and telling Lori, I'm not really sure what I got myself into. But I did learn every aspect of healthcare, logistics, and operations during my time at Fairview. And I remember at one point in my 6-month mark, after I started, I remember jumping up around the office and telling everybody, I finally understand everything in my inbox. At Stanford, I had the opportunity to learn the entire end-to-end supply chain from source to settle and all of operations. But I also was able to experience impressive growth of the organization of 5-fold as we did mergers and acquisitions. It was a lot of fun, but I'll remember the people the most. At BJC, it's a dream team. I could not be prouder to be part of that team, and I get to work alongside the incredibly talented supply chain and clinical colleagues. The work the organization achieved and the level of leadership demonstrated during the COVID pandemic was inspiring. Each and every caregiver and supply chain professional deserve to be recognized in the Hall of Fame of Heroes. Throughout all of these assignments, I have been so fortunate to work with the best colleagues that care deeply about their patients and their families, peers across the industry that share their successes and their failures, so I can learn to be the best. Team members that gave their best every single day. What a wonderful team. And to my family, friends, mentors, I owe you a lifetime of gratitude and respect. Thank you all. I hope I have made you proud. I would like again to express my gratitude to the Bellwether League Foundation for bestowing this honor. I am truly in the shadow of giants. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen Conway, Vice President Healthcare Value for GHX, which is a proud platinum sponsor of the Bellwether League Foundation. This year, I had the honor of serving on the nominating committee and the advisory council. But tonight, I have the honor of introducing our next inductee. Mike Kaufman, CEO, Cardinal Health, could easily have qualified for induction based on his business accomplishments alone. But it's Mike's unique leadership style, a combination of business acumen and emotional intelligence that truly sets him apart. It's why his employees call him inspirational, visionary, authentic, and accessible. During his 30 years at Cardinal Health, Mike brought together providers and suppliers to transform the medical supply and pharmaceutical distribution business. Along the way, he has been a champion of diversity and inclusion long before it was making headline news. That's because Mike, through his actions, understands and demonstrates that social change is necessary to benefit all healthcare stakeholders, from his employees to the diverse patient populations we all serve. Please join me in congratulating Mike Kaufman.
What we do matters. What we do as healthcare supply chain executives really matters to all of our organizations, to caregivers, and ultimately to patients. And this is why I have built my career in this industry for over 30 years. I am gratified knowing that I'm making a difference, that we're making a difference in someone's life. And it's why I'm so honored to be recognized by peers and the supply chain community. What we do matters. It's this grounding notion that we're making a difference that has empowered and emboldened me over the years, helping me lead through sometimes difficult, often stressful, ever-increasing pace of change we face in healthcare. The global pandemic is just one of the latest challenges for the healthcare supply chain to test us all. Supply chains are stretched in ways we never imagined possible, and our people are doing their best to meet the demands of the pandemic. From frontline healthcare providers to men and women on the manufacturing lines and in distribution centers, and those transporting the products to us all, the story rings true for so many. They all have competing priorities between work and family and the most basic need to feel safe. And yet, our teams keep showing up to fulfill their essential roles in the healthcare supply chain. I am beyond humbled to lead and be peers with such an amazing group of people committed to fulfilling our essential role in healthcare. What we do matters, and it matters in every aspect of how we do business, including how we attract, develop, and retain diverse talent. I believe that for us as healthcare supply chain leaders and visionaries to truly be our best, we have to build our diversity, equity, and inclusion muscles. Our supply chains have to be as diverse as the customers and communities they serve, especially as we continue to adapt to the ongoing impacts of the global pandemic, Mother Nature, and social injustice. Building and nurturing that diversity is part of our roles as leaders. It is the right thing to do, but it also breathes greater diversity of thought and innovation into our businesses. And it's this diversity that is at the foundation of my career and a focal point for me now. See, I attribute my early career success to sponsorship from a woman. And nearly 30 years ago, that scenario was more unlikely than commonplace. Her sponsorship opened the door for me to diversify my career experiences and learn firsthand the power of a leader. I've never forgotten that, and it's fueled my passion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So now, to pay it forward, I make DE&I fundamental to what I do. I am working with a leadership team to weave DE&I through every part of Cardinal Health. This must be an inextricable part of our culture, and not just at Cardinal Health, but throughout our communities. I am working with other CEOs and supply chain leaders to build a broader coalition of leaders vested in advancing DE&I in their businesses and in our communities. When we make DE&I a part of every workplace and an important part of the community, our people will really begin to see a different, more equitable experience at work and in their personal lives. I want my daughter and sons to live in a more equitable world, and I want our next generation of leaders to experience greater equity in the workplace. I believe this is how we'll build stronger businesses and even more agile, more responsive, and stronger supply chains. What we do matters. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nick Gage, and it is my absolute honor to present our next Bellwether honoree, Ben W. Latimer. You know, Ben represents, and without doubt, one of our industry's group purchasing pioneers. Ben's love of industrial engineering, coupled with his skill to infuse these principles into the healthcare supply chain and nursing clinical practice, reshaped GPO operations during the silver and modern age of healthcare supply chain history. Certainly deserving of the Bellwether status that we are here to bestow to him tonight. You know, Ben founded Sun Health as a management engineering consulting and outsourcing company in 1969 that blossomed into one of the leading regional shared service organizations that by the close to of the end of the millennium became one of the heritage GPOs to form the new Premier Inc. Ben consistently emphasized the need for quality improvement and ethical business practices. And to restate a few testimonials we received from his colleagues, the culture he built and nourished and the leadership style that he used was a direct reason for the success of Sun Health. You know, another colleague stated, Ben not only had the vision, Ben had the ability to execute it. You know, there's an old proverb that says, vision without action is a daydream, and action without vision is a nightmare. Well, our industry is fortunate to have Ben's innate ability to possess both, as the legacy of his work carries forward today. Please join me in celebrating Ben W. Latimer as our next Bellwether inductee. Ben was unable to participate in person tonight, but shared the following statement. I would like for everyone to know how thankful I am for my spouse, Rachel, and my family, whose full support made my focus on professional work possible. I am honored to receive this recognition on behalf of Sun Health and Premier Team, and there were a lot of people that were a part of that team. I initiated the vision, but the team made it happen. I am honored and humbled to be recognized for the team. Please stay safe and well. Thank you.
I have the privilege of introducing our next inductee, Mr. Gary Rakes. Gary is the Vice President and Chief Supply Chain Officer of Aspirus. He holds a Master of Science degree in Material Logistics Management from the Naval Postgraduate School and a bachelor's degree in Business Administration from Lynchburg College. Gary also holds several nationally recognized supply chain credentials, including being a fellow in the American Academy of Medical Administrators, a certified materials and resource professional, a certified supply chain specialist, and a lean black belt professional. Gary is a retired Navy Medical Services Corps officer, spending the first 2 decades of his healthcare supply chain leading operations at a variety of military healthcare facilities in the United States and Europe for the Army and Navy, including the USNS Comfort Hospital ship. After retiring from active service, Mr. Rakes leveraged his broad and expansive military logistics skills to a variety of hospitals and healthcare organizations during the next 20 years. Gary is an innovative thought leader in the areas of logistics and value analysis, also incorporating a focus on sustainability. improving operations, redesigning workflows, and reducing supply expenses on enterprise levels for several health systems, he's celebrated for his commitment to advancing the supply chain profession. In addition to his professional contributions, Gary has developed an impeccable reputation amongst his colleagues and peers. His leadership extends beyond his work through his participation in numerous industry committees and organizations. He has been recognized in both military and supply chain forums and has received numerous awards in support of his accomplishments and impact on his community and country. It's now my honor to ask you please join me in congratulating Mr. Gary Rakes as he joins the many distinguished members of the Bellwether class of 2021.
Thank you, Kate, for the very kind words, and to the Bellwether League Foundation Board for this extremely prestigious honor. I am extremely humbled and very honored to be included with a group of outstanding supply chain leaders who are true legends in our profession, many of which I have looked up to, have been mentored by, and attempted to pattern my life and my career. A special tribute to three Bellwether legends, Captain Terry Ergens, Tom Hughes, and Ed Harden, who left this earthly life way too early, but who continue to leave a special mark on others. You are truly missed, but we all stand as a testament to your supply chain legacy. To quote Isaac Newton, "If I have ever seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." A good friend once taught me the principles of leadership by sharing this quote by Lao Tzu. "A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, 'We did it ourselves.'" I have been blessed to have been surrounded by many wonderful people throughout my almost 40-year supply chain career, serving side by side and arm in arm, watching each succeed and flourish as outstanding supply chain leaders. I could not be prouder of those that I have been privileged to lead, both past and present. I am extremely fortunate to basically have had two separate supply chain careers. One serving my country as a career Navy Medical Service Corps officer for over 20 years, and the other as a civilian healthcare supply chain leader for almost another 20 years. I have been truly blessed to have many great and positive influences on me, both within and outside the U.S. Navy. I would like to personally thank a few people in my life who were either outstanding mentors or tremendous role models, each one shaping my career and my life in a very special way. Captain Paul Truen, who saw the potential in a young Navy officer and set me on the path to a lifelong supply chain career. Captain Tom Deffenbaugh, who for many years guided my naval career, providing career advice and a listening ear, serving as my mentor, or what we affectionately call in the Navy, my Sea Daddy. Brigadier General Sheila Baxter, who not only was an outstanding leader, but one of the most compassionate officers I have ever met, who taught me the importance of always putting our customers and caregivers first. Dave Hunter, who is truly one of the most humbled leaders I have ever had the privilege of knowing, who taught me to stand outside my comfort zone, reach for the stars, and always be willing to tread where others dare not. All four of these outstanding supply chain leaders and mentors are much more worthy than I to be recognized by the Bellwether League. They are all indeed Hall of Famers in my book. And to my father, Dewey Rakes, who taught me to have a strong work ethic and a strong moral character. To my mother, Barbara Rakes, who taught me the art of kindness and love. Both have recently passed away. I miss them every day, but know they are proud of their son to be honored in such a manner. I love you, Mom and Dad. To my four wonderful children, Allison, Amanda, Garrett, and Leah, and my 6 grandchildren, it is your love that makes me whole, and I cherish my most important title, that of a father and grandfather. And lastly, my wife, Lisa. You are my rock, my best friend, and my loving companion for over 38 years. I love you dearly and cannot wait for the next 38 years. Thank you for being with me during this journey called life. In conclusion, I would like not to be remembered for my excellent supply chain leadership, which I consider is the price of admission for those in our profession. Outstanding supply chain skills are our duty and responsibility, not our legacy. I want to be remembered for something much more, something deeper. For those of you who took Latin, you might remember this phrase, vivo ut serviam. Translated into English is, I live that I may serve. As healthcare supply chain professionals, we have no higher calling than to serve and give of ourselves to helping others. I have had a long-standing motto that I have carried throughout my supply chain career, which states, we fill the hands that heal. By making sure that our caregivers do not have to worry about supply availability so they can help our vulnerable patients in their time of need. We fill the hands that heal, and we live to serve. I look at the work we do not as a job, but as a calling of service that I have had the tremendous pleasure of performing for almost 39 years of my adult life. I challenge all supply chain leaders to look for opportunities to live that you may serve. I will end by sharing a quote by Walter Reuther that I feel is extremely fitting for the work we do as healthcare supply chain professionals. There is no greater calling than to serve your fellow man. There is no greater contribution than to help the weak. There is no greater satisfaction than to have done it well. Thank you for the wonderful honor of being inducted into the Bellwether Hall of Fame. All my best to all who give of themselves each and every day to fill the hands that heal.
Hello, I'm Dee Donatelli, and I have the opportunity to present our next 2021 Bellwether League honoree. I've had the privilege of knowing this individual for multiple decades, and I have to say she is one of the clinical professionals who I hold in very high regard. I've learned so much from this person, and like so many of us, she came into supply chain in a non-traditional way. As a laboratorian, she started her career working in the lab and was very analytic. She continues to be very analytic. As a matter of fact, sometimes she drives me a little crazy with her analysis. But because of that, this individual has been a tremendous influence to the organizations, particularly to AVAP, the Association of Healthcare Value Analysis Professional, where she held a position as past president and continues to lead the way, especially through COVID. This individual led weekly seminars, 30-minute little blog conversations that helped so many of us get through a very difficult time. She has also been very instrumental in her retirement, quote unquote, as she works with suppliers in our industry to help them better understand the process of value analysis. Her dedication, like so many of us, to the clinical part of our work, the patients that we serve, has really set her apart, not only in what she does today, but what she's done for the last 60 years in the healthcare industry. In my opinion, no one is more deserving of this honor than Barbara Strain. Congratulations, Barbara. We're very happy to welcome you into the 2021 class of the Bellwether League.
Thank you, Dee, for that great introduction. And thank you to the Bellwether League Foundation, Chair Deb Templeton, the board, co-founder and treasurer Jamie Kowalski, and co-founder and executive director Rick Dana Barlow for this career recognition. I am both humbled and honored to be in the company of trailblazers and accomplished leader and role models who came before me and those inducted in 2021. My career has taken a very interesting path in healthcare over a 43-year career, bookended by the AIDS and COVID-19 pandemics, departments as revenue centers to cost centers, and the first DRGs transitioning to value-based care. My career started in clinical labs, where I specialized in microbiology and virology. And in the lab, no matter what role you had, you learned supply chain basics. Between inventory management, expiration dates, rotating stock, par levels, purchasing, receiving, contracting, reimbursement, and those collaborative relationships between physicians, nurses, and departments. And as I transitioned to my second career in value analysis and supply chain, the learning continued thanks to Jim Keithley and Jake Grunwald, who is one of the 2021ers. The more you know and understand the business you are in, the better you can serve the customer, who's the patient. This has always been my mantra as long as I can remember. I was fortunate enough to engage early on with value analysis mentors such as Dee Donatelli, Brooke Burson, Terry Nelson, Melanie Miller, Cindy Cristofanelli, and a host of many others as we founded AVAP, the Association of Healthcare Value Analysis Professionals. Today, I continue to actively serve and educate the principles of value analysis and supply chain management through both AVAP and ARM. I want to especially thank my family for their ever-ending support with which I would not be accepting this award. Thank you.
There's an old saying that some attribute to an ancient proverb. It goes something like this. The first generation creates something from nothing, be it a business, wealth, whatever. The second generation simply enjoys the creation and the fruits of that creation without doing much to take it to the next level. The third generation doesn't care or want any of it and ultimately ends up destroying the creation in some way. Whoever came up with that old proverb, which has been adapted and paraphrased over the centuries by business and industry, would not be able to explain how and why the Titus family broke that mold and busted that stereotype. The healthcare industry refers to such anomalies as outliers. F. Dwight Titus III, along with his father and grandfather, demonstrated and reinforced what it means to be an enterprising, customer-focused, and service-minded pharmacist, retailer, and distributor executive who contributed mightily to the healthcare industry and system throughout the majority of the 20th century. Dwight Titus III worked to transform his grandfather's and father's local pharmacy retail locations, which they grew from a single store into one of the leading national distributors of medical, surgical, and pharmaceutical products, and later as part of a global product supplier. Based on all that Dwight has accomplished and given back to the advancement of healthcare for past, present, and future generations, it is my honor, pleasure, and privilege to welcome and induct F. Dwight Titus III into the Hall of Fame for Healthcare Supply Chain Leadership's Bellwether Class of 2021. Listen as he shares memories of his enduring legacy. Dwight?
I would like to thank the Bellwether League Foundation and its board of directors for the nomination for this prestigious award and to be part of the class of 2021. My career essentially started in the 1970s, early 1970s, when I joined a small family-owned medical distribution company, aptly named Titus. And over the next 20 years, the company grew internally and with some significant acquisitions. By the 1990s, we dominated the Western United States through distribution centers in Phoenix, LA, and Sacramento. But our customers were changing, and we felt we had to change with our customers. They became regional, they became larger, they became part of national organizations, and we had the advent of the surgery centers, the walk-in clinics, and the physician groups. So the decision was made at that time that we needed to be a national company if we really wanted to continue our success. So the decision was made in 1994 to join General Medical out of Richmond, Virginia. And so the total Titus management team joined General Medical, and for the next 3 years, again, through internal growth, significant acquisitions, we grew the company to over $2 billion in sales and 3,300 employees. And we had distribution centers throughout the United States and we could service and parts of Canada. So then the decision was made in 1997 that the sale to McKesson was the most appropriate thing. And so the decision was made and the sale was consummated in 1997. There are several initiatives, though, from the older days that I was extremely proud of. One was, it was a good old boys, all-male industry in the early days. And I feel we were one of the first distributors to hire women in sales positions and in management and even in senior management. And their success, I felt, contributed significantly to the success of the Titus Company. The second initiative is another initiative that I'm particularly proud of, and that is the formation of partnerships with manufacturers, distributors, and the ultimate user on meeting each other's needs and understanding what the costs in the system and the distribution chain were and what we could do collectively to reduce costs and improve efficiency. And for that, I'm particularly proud. Again, I would like to thank Bellwether for this award. And as I always said so many times that over the years, that we who are on the healthcare industry are very, very fortunate. Thank you.
And last but not least, I have the pleasure and honor to introduce Mark Van Summeren, Bellwether Class of 2021. Mark really doesn't need an introduction. He is well known and respected by those in this profession, in this industry at least. He has been around a long time and has held executive positions in some of the biggest consulting firms, the big 3, the big 5, the big 8. I've lost track. I don't know. And the largest supply distributor in our industry. He is still consulting and has served on and continues to serve on various boards of directors. Most near and dear to our hearts, he has served on the board of the Bellwether League, where he led us through the development of our very first strategic plan. He has contributed much to the improvement of performance in virtually all sectors of the healthcare supply chain and the advancement of the art and science of supply chain management. To me, Mark has been a neighbor. He and his family lived 6 houses down when our kids were in grade school together at the same time, a collaborator on consulting engagements, my competitor for some of those consulting engagements, my boss, my golf partner. Well, he was much better than I am, and I'm sure he still is, and a friend. Given that, please join me in welcoming and congratulating Mark Van Summeren.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on this special occasion. It is truly an honor to be recognized by the Bellwether League and to be a member of the class of 2021. I want to express my deep gratitude to the co-founders of the Bellwether League, Jamie Kowalski and Rick Dana Barlow. 14 years ago, Jamie and Rick had a vision. That vision was to recognize the unsung heroes of the healthcare supply chain. I also want to express my gratitude to the Bellwether League Board of Directors, past and present, for carrying forth that vision and recognizing 128 professionals and the profound impact that they've made on our profession and our industry. Of course, I want to acknowledge my 8 classmates, 8 outstanding individuals who have made a career-long impact on the healthcare industry, on the supply chain, and on each one of us. I have the honor of having worked with and known many of them for several years, and to be a part of the same class as these 8 dedicated, impactful individuals is truly humbling. And of course, I want to recognize the Bellwethers from years past. Congratulations on their career accomplishments. And I wanted to acknowledge two in particular. One, my good friend, Ed Hardin. May he rest in peace. Julie, our hearts go out to you. See, Ed was a great friend. Ed and I first knew each other and began working together more than 3 decades ago. During that time, Ed and I were colleagues, we were competitors, and he was a client. But regardless of the role in the relationship that we had, there was one constant, and that was Ed was a friend, a great friend, someone who I turned to, who I looked up to, and who always, always had a kind word and thoughts of encouragement and suggestions for how I could be better, how we could work together in serving the industry. Second, I want to acknowledge one of the very early Bellwethers, Gil Minor. Gil is the retired chairman of Owens & Minor, and a person that I consider it to be one of my career highlights, that I was able to work alongside Gil and under his leadership for many years when I joined Owens & Minor. The one thing that I learned most specifically from Gil was the concept of servant leadership before that concept was ever coined with that phrase. You see, Gil recognized who in the organization were most impactful on the success of the business and the satisfaction of our customers. And those were the people that were unloading the trucks at the receiving dock, that were packing and shipping product for delivery to the customer that day. And when Gil would visit one of the 40-odd distribution centers, which he did several times a year, he did not approach the distribution center through the front door. No, he walked in through the receiving dock, and he reached out to the men and women that were doing the work every day on behalf of our customers. And what struck me about Gil is that he didn't approach these people telling them his view of how the business should be operating. He listened more than he talked. He understood that these people had greater insight to what was working, how we could improve service to our customers better, and how we can improve the organization. And Gil had a habit of taking that insight, bringing it back to the home office, and making sure that the officers and the leaders of the company understood what Gil learned about how to make the business better. Gil used to repeat this phrase often, and he would say, "Mark, if you take care of your people, they will take care of our customers, and collectively, they will take care of our bottom line." It's a lesson that I learned early from Gil and I've never forgotten. Two other lessons that I learned through my career that I'd like to leave with you, because I think that this applies to all of us. One, find your gift. What is a gift? A gift is something that you're passionate about, that you have a capability and a competency to deliver, and that others, whether they be your peers, your customers, your clients, your suppliers, find of value. That is a gift. Each and every one of us have a gift. It's just a matter of discovering what it is, pursuing that gift, and sharing it freely with others. The second is building on that gift, and it's perhaps even more important, and that is our individual success, our contribution is less a reflection of our individual performance, our individual efforts, and our individual achievements. Rather, it's a reflection of how we enable those around us to reach their own potential, how they can be better, how we can create an environment or enable others to be successful. That is the true measure of our own success. That's a lesson that I've learned repeatedly throughout my career, but perhaps one anecdote will drive it home most succinctly. It goes all the way back to 1992. I was pursuing a career in healthcare consulting with Ernst & Young. That year I was up for admission to the partnership. And one of the senior partners that I greatly respected, Don Hamilton, pulled me aside early on in the evaluation process. And he said, Mark, delivering outstanding customer service, providing value, delivering on your commitments and your expectations, those are all important. They're important in any role, and they're certainly important for consideration for the partnership. But he said they're table stakes. He said there's one other aspect of the evaluation that becomes far more important in determining whether you're worthy of becoming a partner and really whether we're worthy of becoming an effective leader. And what Don told me that day, and I will never forget this conversation, he said it's not about those things. We expect that of our people. But the determination of whether you're worthy of admission to the partnership is we have to assess whether or not you're capable, whether you've shown the ability to advance the careers of others, if you can make other partners in the organization. And it struck me very significantly that the measure of progress, the measure of success, was not individual accomplishment. It was the accomplishments of those around us, of how we enable that to occur. And it's a lesson that I've tried to embody throughout my career. So my concluding points are these. Find your gift, the things that you're passionate about, share it freely. But secondly, and most importantly, strive every day. As I strive every day, not always successfully, but I certainly strive every day to create an environment where others can achieve their potential, where they can be their best. Because that's how we all drive forward. That's how we all achieve our success. It's collectively as opposed to individually. I want to close with, again, an appreciation to the Bellwether League for this tremendous honor. A utmost respect and admiration for my classmates and the Bellwethers in prior classes. And thank you for your support of the organization, for your friendship, for our ability to work together, past, present, and future. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Rick Barlow again. Bellwether League Foundation would not be here today and where it is today without the commitment, dedication, devotion, and generosity of our board of directors, advisory council, and sustaining and event sponsors, all of whom support the entire Bellwether community. I would like to take this time to thank and salute each of our sponsors by name. For our sustaining sponsors for 2021, at the founding and platinum level, we have GHX, Health Trust, Owens & Minor, Premier, Vizient, and Wingfoot Media. At the gold level, Amerisource Bergen. At the silver level, ASP Global, BD, Capstone Health Alliance, Crown Healthcare Laundry, GS1 US Healthcare, Healthcare Purchasing News, Healthcare Supply Chain Association, Medline Industries, Omnicell, Resource Optimization and Innovation, and Steris Instrument Management Services. At the bronze level, we have Allina Health, Atrium Health, Freightert Health, Geisinger Health, Mayo Clinic, Northwestern Memorial Healthcare, Ochsner Health System, and Texas Health Resources. I'd also like to salute our event sponsors for 2021. At the founding platinum level, Premier. At the silver level, Omnicell. At the corporate and professional level, we have Access Strategy Partners, Healthcare Links, Prodigo Solutions, John Strong, Bellwether Class of 2011, in memory of Tom Hughes, Bellwether Class of 2012, Bill Donato, Bellwether Class of 2013, D. Donatelli, Bellwether Class of 2015, Jamie Kowalski, Bellwether Class of 2017, Nick Toscano, Bellwether Class of 2018, Carl Meyer, Bellwether Class of 2019, Vance Moore, Bellwether Class of 2019, June Amora, Future Famers Class of 2019, Doug Bowen, Bellwether Class of 2020, Steve Kewitt, CCS Medical, to further support the continued legacy in honoring those who have made great contributions to the healthcare supply chain industry, and in memory of my friend, Ed Harden, Bellwether Class of 2020. Karen Conway, GHX, Ralph Basile, Healthmark Industries, and Michael DeLuca, Prodigo Solutions. Thank you all for helping Bellwether League Foundation reinforce that healthcare supply chain makes a difference.
I want to thank you for the opportunity to provide a little background and future activities of Bellwether Philanthropy, a division of the Bellwether League Foundation. However, before I review our work to date, I would like to take this time and acknowledge our Bellwether League founders, Rick Barlow and Jamie Kowalski. From the very beginning of our discussions of transitioning the Bellwether League to a 501c3 foundation, the idea of creating a philanthropic arm was always first in mind. Rick and Jamie, thank you for your vision and forward thinking that has brought us here today. It has been my privilege to serve as the administrator of the Bellwether Philanthropy Division, as well as a member of the Bellwether League Foundation's Advisory Council. Now allow me to start by first answering the question of why. Well, from the initial onset of our discussions, we felt it was our responsibility to leverage all of the knowledge and wisdom gained over the past 25 years by reimagining philanthropic endeavors to make a lasting impact on the healthcare supply chain profession. We believe by establishing targeted and relevant philanthropic investments, we could best establish a legacy pathway to increase knowledge capital of future healthcare supply chain leaders, supported by a community-driven platform as a guiding light in our efforts to give back to the healthcare supply chain industry that we so dearly love and cherish. The Bellwether League Philanthropy Task Force, comprised of Deb Templeton, our Bellwether League Foundation chairwoman, Ed Hiscock, Senior Vice President of Trinity Health and past board member, Joe Colonna, Chief Supply Chain and Project Management Officer at Piedmont Health, Mark Van Sumeren, Managing Director, Health Industry Advisor, past board member, and Bellwether League honoree tonight, and I have been working earnestly to support three core guiding principles. The first one is to establish charitable programs and activities that create meaningful and profound impact on the healthcare supply chain profession. The second one is to develop and nurture healthcare supply chain resiliency. And the third one is to advance healthcare supply chain industry's best practices that are exportable to multiple service delivery models. So just how will we make an impact? Well, over the course of 2021 and beyond, Bellwether League Philanthropy will be establishing various opportunities in the form of annual grants, scholarships, and partnerships with higher learning organizations to provide capstone project opportunities. Tonight, I hope I have provided a deep enough understanding of our goals and have spurred your interest to learn a little more about Bellwether League Philanthropy. Please don't hesitate to reach out to either myself or any of our Philanthropy Task Force members to learn more or offer suggested opportunities for consideration. Again, on behalf of the entire Bellwether League Foundation Board of Advisors, I hope you're having a wonderful night of celebrating all our honorees tonight and ask you to join our efforts in making a difference, one philanthropic event at a time.
Greetings, everyone. If you remember my closing comments from last year's virtual event held in October 2020, I told you that Bellwether League, Inc., which had operated for 13 years as a 501c6 not-for-profit corporation, would be advancing to a 501c3 nonprofit organization in January of 2021. Thanks to the tireless efforts of our board of directors of both entities, our advisory council, and to the support of our sustaining corporate, professional, and event sponsors, we were able to chart a new course for this organization and begin our 14th year back in January with a renewed sense of purpose in all that we do. Next year, we plan to host BL Fire 15 as a live in-person event at a facility we think best represents our direction as a content and recognition entity, honoring the industry and profession through career and lifetime achievement profiling, educational pursuits, and historical recording. We see our ongoing role being reflected through our multimedia platforms of online and print vehicles, including our annual Healthcare Supply Chain Leadership Forum, our Leaders and Luminaries magazine, and our Remember newsletter. So, in October of 2022, we hope you will join us during our 15th anniversary celebration, which not only will add some new elements to the program, but also bring back some of the elements you've grown to appreciate over the years. Only next year, we plan to meet for the first time on a college campus. We'll share more details with you throughout the next year about our exciting plans. We hope you will join us and continue to partner with us as we push this profession forward. We trust you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, and thank you for joining us this evening in saluting the healthcare supply chain of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Good night.